That first night, getting into some psychedelic party favors and just having like a big old therapy talk session.
What's up, guys? We're Young the Giant. We're here in Venice, California at the Lighthouse, celebrating our album, our sixth studio album, Victory Garden. It's coming out May 1st, and we're about to go on a massive summer run starting at the end of May in Vegas. What are some things that are just still freak you out about touring, just in any aspect?
The shows where something or everything goes wrong on stage, we get off and we're like really excited.
Yeah, there was that show, we played a festival in New Orleans. Half our gear didn't arrive or something, like all of our keyboards. It was basically like just the bare minimum of like guitars and drums. That was it.
I felt like the energy of the crowd that day was like really palpable.
There was another night in New Mexico 2 years ago. Fran got COVID right before and was feeling like crap. We had our drum tech fill in. He killed it.
I was genuinely like, guys, this will be my first show I've ever missed. I always think it'd be so cool to hear my band play. And as I was driving away from the venue, they came on stage and I actually got to hear them play and they were shredding. I don't want to make a habit of it, but it was pretty cool.
When you do this enough and then people ask you, like, are you nervous to go on stage? I think I used to answer, I'm not nervous. But recently I've been realizing the nerves are the good part, and being like a little scared is the reason why we do it. Why you feel alive, why you feel like you're human. So trying to like embrace the fact that I'm feeling a little nervous.
Playing in front of 20 people is a lot more nerve-wracking than playing in front of 20,000. When you can hear everyone breathing in the room and it's very intimate, it gets like a little intense.
Those are the ones where you get the biggest like rush afterwards. You can't go to sleep, forever.
Yeah.
I think with this new album, we're really excited to try to play as many, if not the entire new record, and feel that feeling of like on our toes a little bit.
Like
even throughout
precious.
the tour, not being so precious.
Certain songs that we just haven't played for years,
We
probably bust out.
Like 75 released catalog songs with this album, something like that. Like we're approaching
271.
That's like Billy Joel territory.
I know. There's a lot of songs to practice and to perform.
Eric, what gets you the most excited about getting on the road?
After doing this for so long, I'm excited to not drive.
Wake up next to me.
I'm excited to hang in a bus with these guys. I'm excited to see how the audience reacts to the new songs.
There's no energy like being on stage performing, chase that high and play those shows, and it's really rewarding.
How about you, Fran?
Fran, are you excited to tour with Cold Kids again?
I'm so excited for Cold Kids. They're awesome dudes. They're an amazing band. And it's great to have someone out there who's like really kind of forces you to up your game. They also force us to work out on tour. They're all kind of like fitness buffs now. Like they're literally buffs. And we're not.
Jake, we have a 90-minute set, and we've been actively trying to change the set list because there's so many songs in the catalog. How do you see this summer being a little bit different?
Well, last year we celebrated the 10-year for Mind Over Matter, and we essentially played the first and second record back to front. So we are pretty well practiced in our discography at this point. And we've been working on some musical direction just to elevate our live show, because we've been doing it 20 years and we're striding for perfection now.
This new record, Victory Garden, we kind of went back to basics in a lot of ways. We did a couple of writing retreats in Idlewild and Joshua Tree, got a house together, slept and breathed the record and what we were wanting to say. Really reconnecting as people.
Going through COVID, everyone was so fragmented and we're all going through our lives. So that first night, getting into some psychedelic party favors and just having like a big old therapy talk session. Not even what the record was going to be about, just like what's going on in our lives. I feel like that was a really great way to kind of set that North Star for the album. Like anything, right? You use it responsibly and you kind of try to get something out of it.
Be responsible.
Some really interesting conversation and some like absolutely ludicrous conversation, like a lot of threads that never made the record. Like, can we ever set up like a 8-man bong in our bus or something like that? That's more like what we used to talk about.
As the world moves us further and further apart, I think it's harder to connect in a real way. And so this record was really rooted in that feeling, to just have it feel human. Like this is human music. This is people in a room playing together, moving air. And, that's what we're most excited about also on this tour, to bring the live realm to things, because no matter what iteration or style or fashion of music and music creation there will be alongside technology, there's always going to be a rooted element of the performance, of being in a space together and experiencing something greater than, the individual.
There's one night where we're sitting in the jacuzzi at the Airbnb and we're looking up in the sky, and a phoenix in the sky just appeared, like a cloud that looked just like a phoenix. And we're all just like, do you guys see that phoenix? And literally we were looking at it, and then we kind of looked down and we're all just like, oh my God, the phoenix. We put a poem on the back of our record called Phoenix Song. And it actually kind of embodies some of the stuff that the guys had mentioned about us, like wanting to view the world from the lens of a child.
I don't remember that.
I saw the phoenix.
I don't remember
the
Phoenix.
I did.
There was also like
Did you see the phoenix?
I was staring at my fingers.
Palm leaf too.
Us as Young the Giant, I think even at the very beginning, we saw ourselves less as a band and more as like a collective of creators, and everyone brings something to the table, and Young the Giant is the combined effort of that. So we've kind of found ourselves full circle, going back to really the thing that gets you excited, which is just the joy of creating and the joy of making music and performing live together.
Getting all together in these writing retreats, it was like, we call them sparks. Like someone would come up with a motif. Once that something perks up enough of our ears, we're like, oh yeah, let's go in on this.
We were finishing another idea and we were just taking a break, and Jake went on the Moog and was playing this like sequence bass part. And I remember I was like filming it too. I had my camera, I was like filming, oh, this is sick. And then like everyone looked over at Jake and we're like, let's go with that. And like we wrote Evergreen, and that's the first song on the album, but the last song we wrote, it just tied everything together. And we're like, okay, now we have the album. Like now it feels complete.
Us as a band being 5 people from also 5 different places and cultures around the world, to be able to row in the same direction, I think is like a testament to just the will of human connection and communication.
A lot of people coming out saying, you know, that AI is the future and that you type in a prompt and that's the song and you don't have to put in the work. But the reality is that, you know, the work and the process of being creative and creating art, creating music, that is the point.
And even from a touring perspective, being able to have people in a room. We got schooled in kind of the old school way of touring. We don't really cancel shows. We've all played a show sick. We really care about the show. I don't think there's ever a night that we phone it in.
And I'll go around. I'd just like to give props to everybody. Fran's one of my all-time favorite drummers in the entire world. I mean, and he started on bass with us, and he switched to drums.
I quit bass
drummer.
in protest because they wouldn't let me slap. So we found Pime. He doesn't like slap bass.
Pime here, besides the hair and all the jokes aside, one of the most melodic, creative bass players, amongst other things.
Occasional
incredible
slap.
Piano player, very occasional slap, tasteful slapping.
Very seldom.
Samir, in my opinion, one of, if not the best male vocalists of all time. Just an incredible power in his voice, and tone is just unbelievable. As a frontman and performer, like one of the all times in my opinion. And then Jacob over here, as the 2 guitar players, his ideas are so different than what I would come up with on the guitar, that it's always inspiring. And I feel like that's a lot to do with how much we care about the songs.
I'll say for Eric,
each other.
He is such an intuitive musician. He's a great pianist. He's a great guitarist, great bassist, great drummer. It's not about being fancy and all that stuff. It's really about getting to the core of the song, and he gets it.
For anything, not just music, you really do need to find those people that lift you up and allow you to kind of break past your own maybe perceptions of yourself. And for me, that's the case with Young the Giant.
Catch us on our Victory Garden tour this summer, 2026. We'll see you there.